Welcome. This is Melinda Barlow CZT, Certified Tangle Teacher, and today's lesson is Kufa by Zentangle.com, and it's a fun little interesting tangle, lots of swirls and twirls, and it's just fun to do. So let's get started. First, if I say, if you want the step outs, take a screenshot, and then we'll get started. I've had fun doing it on bookmarks, so I am going to do this one on a bookmark. I tried it on several different kinds. I did it on a black bookmark with white. I've done it on brown. I've done it on white. They all need a little touch up, but I'm going to do it on a white bookmark, because I find that nice, that fun to do. And I am just looking for my black pen, and here is my black pen. I thought about trying it on a round, but we'll see how that works. I'm going to start at the bottom, and it's like a little fescue. So we're just going to do a little fescue that grows up from the bottom. And we'll come in a little bit, and then you start your next fescue that comes from around that one, so they kind of hook together and around. And so to me they kind of look like Higgins, kind of when you start. But it just works its way up to the top. I'm going to work my way up to the top. There it is. Now I'm going to start back at the bottom again, and I am going to go on the so here's my fescue. I'm going to go on the outside of that fescue and do a feather, kind of a feather stitch, and draw it down so it matches. Kind of comes in, and we get that thick line. And I'm going to stop there. Then I'm going to come, so here's the first one, here's the second one, so I'm going to do the same thing on here. Going slow and deliberate. Now I'm going to go on this side. So I'm just alternating my sides of my fescue. To me, it's always on the outward curve, not the inside curve. So if you can think that I'm going on the outward curve. I had a little slip there. Makes a great little border tangle. And I always like to give it that round little lift in there, because I like to come back in and give it a little drama in that. And my last one, don't have a lot of room there, but I'm going to go ahead and just make my tangle down there. And I can come back in and add more tangles. I could add more that come into here if I wanted to. I could come in here and do a few more that taper down. Because remember, this is your art, and you can do what you like. That's the beauty of Zentangle, is no two are going to be alike. And I could come in here and add, I added Bronx Cheers on here before, but I could even come in to this center, and to me that looked a little bit blah, so I could add a little bit more down here at the bottom. And I'm just going to add just some echoes out. I don't know, it just felt like that's what I wanted to do. Just to add a little bit in to here. I'm going to turn it because I feel like my ink is kind of wet. I can see it's shiny and I don't want to put my hand in it. So I'm going to turn. And I think, what could I do to this to make it have a little bit more drama? I'm going to come in here and fill in those spaces. To give it that little bit more drama. This is a quick little tangle to do. It works up fairly quick. And it begs for shading. I think all tangles beg for shading. So I'm going to have to add some orbs, just because I truly love orbs. To me, it's like, if I don't know what to do, if it feels like it needs something, I will add a few orbs. Sometimes I aura, but I'm just going to add a few orbs in here. And now I'm going to give this some shading. And find my pencil. Find a pencil, and I think I'm going to give it some shading down here at the bottom. Ooh, and I'm gonna shade my little oh, what would I call those? Just my little curved lines going out. Put that little bit of shading there. Little shading at the bottom. Where's my shading stump? I know these have a name, but I can't say it, so I just call it a shading stump. It's got it with a T. But look how quickly that comes together. And I've got a wimpy little I'm gonna pull off that end so it's not so wimpy, and I might sharpen it up again. If they get kind of bent, and I have to break them off and start over, but isn't that pretty? And you can just give it some shade on the outside edge. Put a little graphite out here. On that very edge. and blend it in. It's almost like putting a little ink on there. This one might even look wonderful if it was shaded with color. And make sure I have, and I think I'm going to bring a little fescue, a very tiny one that might come out of these. And put my initials and the year. My pen has got a problem with the bottom of it. But there we have Kufa. And it is a beautiful tangle. And it will go in my Tangle journal. In here. I might even put it so it's just like that, right up between the two. And I just use a little bit of glue. I'm going to glue it in, show you how I do it. I just put a little glue. Oop. Not on the front. That's what I get for trying to be smarty. And I'm just going to glue that in. And I'll write on here the date that I did it, so I can February, and I'm not sure what date that's going to go on my YouTube channel, but there it is. Kufa by Zen Tangle. Beautiful, easy tangle. Thanks for watching.